One of the most remarkable features of New England apples is their variety. More than 200 kinds of apples are grown in New England today, some dating back to colonial times and others brand new to the marketplace. New England apples vary in color, shape, size, texture, and of course, flavor. For a tantalizing taste experience, experiment with New England apples, eating new varieties fresh to savor their wide range of flavors, from juicy sweet to crisp and tart, with hints of strawberry, pear, or banana. Mix and match New England apples when making pies and applesauce. In New England, the first apples are ready for harvest in late August. These include Paula Red, Jersey Mac, and Ginger Gold. By September, the McIntosh family is ripe. McIntosh, McCowan, Cortland, Empire, and Honeycrisp. The McIntosh remains New England's quintessential apple, owing to its unique sweet tart flavor. The McIntosh was developed in Canada in 1801 and quickly thereafter took root in New England. Especially juicy, slightly tart, and the most aromatic of all apples, with two-toned red and green skin, the McIntosh has been praised by countless writers, chefs, and apple lovers for its unique flavor. The Mac is famous for fresh eating as well as baking.
The best way to eat a McIntosh is just to pick one off the tree and eat it. But obviously there's a season for McIntosh. And when that season is over, then you have to go to a farm stand or a local store and buy it. We have great technology on storing these things. They're great fresh. A lot of people love cooking with a McIntosh. Makes a wonderful applesauce. If you want a pie that breaks down and is quite juicy, Mac's one of your best choices. McIntosh are ready for picking in New Hampshire, which is where we are right now. About Labor Day is when we start, and we can run the season now through Columbus Day for pick your own. The flavor of a McIntosh is obviously very juicy, and if you haven't bitten into one, you'll find out as soon as you bite it. And it's just been described as kind of sprightly. I don't know, it's unique, but it's a McIntosh flavor, and it's best in New England. Let's talk about a McCowan. This is one of the favorite apples in New England, and one of the ones that we just can't ever quite seem to grow enough of. It's sweet, it's crispy, it stores relatively well, and you will find it mostly in the farm stands. Occasionally you'll find it in the supermarket. It is one of the apples that a lot of people don't cook with, but I'm going to tell you it makes the best applesauce you will ever find. Pick your own and be available in this area right around 1st of October through about the 3rd week of October. It's a great apple. A Cortland apple. This is from New York, and it has McIntosh in its parentage in addition to Ben Davis. This is another classic New England apple that is widely grown in New England. There isn't an apple grower in New England that doesn't grow a lot of Cortlands. It's great for cooking, great for eating. One of its characteristics is that if you're making a Waldorf salad and you cut this apple open, it does not brown nearly as quickly. Cortland season in New Hampshire runs from about the 2nd week in September through mid-October. And that's a pretty wide season. Early in the season, they will be quite hard and quite tart, and later in the season they develop a very nice, mellow, sweet flavor that is quite characteristic and unique to Cortland. Empire. This apple, if the name isn't a good indicator, is from New York State, actually bred at Cornell and bred specifically for New York apple growers. Well, guess what? In New England, we grow a pretty nice Empire. And while they're not widely grown, there's plenty of them out there. Pick your own is it's a great apple for pick your own. It hangs on the tree really long, and well into October you can pick Empires. Honeycrisp, the phenomenon of this century. Bred in University of Minnesota and actually introduced in the early 90s, it gained unbelievable market acceptance in the late 90s and into 2001, 2, 3, and on. Growers have been struggling to plant enough to come up with enough apples to meet the market. And we're still learning how to grow, and we're learning the areas that it grows best in. And that could be both regional areas and also the areas within our own orchard that it grows. And we've got a lot to learn about Honeycrisp. Its color can vary from almost a solid, brilliant red to having kind of a mottled background, like this one here. And we're going to continue to learn how to grow this and what constitutes a typical looking Honeycrisp.
October brings forth Jonagold and Golden Delicious, and the good old Baldwin.
Jonagold, as the name indicates, it's a cross between a Jonathan and a Golden Delicious. This is a hard apple that is normally ready about in October. This particular strain here is really red, which is kind of nice, and there are several different Jonagolds out there. The one that we grow is called Jonago Red. That's the reason for the color. This is not a widely grown apple, but we grow them. Our customers like them. They're hard during the season, which around here is usually in October. We usually don't start picking these till the 1st of October. They can get nice and sweet, although they have a nice background of acid if you want something that's a little bit sharp when you bite into it. A lot of people cook with these, but mostly people, you pick them to eat fresh.
Here we have Golden Delicious. As you can see, some of them are green to yellow. Some do have a blush. We have a couple varieties of trees that produce a blush. And this is one of my personal favorites. It's just a sweet apple. There's very little tartness to it. And as I'm working out in the orchards, I just wait until these are ready so I can just pick them and eat them as I go. This here would be the Baldwin apple. This is also an old variety. Here on the farm, we used to grow 95% Baldwin around the turn of the century. And these keep very well, and I think that we grew mostly Baldwin is because you could pretty much buy a barrel of them in the fall and keep them in your cold basement, and they would last until the spring. As you can see, it's not a pretty apple, but again, the people who like them love them. They start calling in August to see when we're going to have the Baldwins, and mostly I think people use them for baking and saucing.